You don't want to listen to the reason? Okay, fine. So this story is not mine but a close male friend about 10 years ago. My friend was a teacher at an intermediate, ages 11 and 12. We were all early in our careers. We would have been about 23 years old at the time, experienced enough to be comfortable but dumb enough to still make silly mistakes. Here in NZ at the start of the school year we all have mandatory swimming classes through our school ages. The problem is that this usually occurs in March or April when the weather starts to get cooler. On top of that, most of our pools around the country are not heated, and I personally have traumatic memories of jumping into sub 10 degrees Celsius water for the 1-hour session. Because of these problems, along with general adolescent indifference, every single swimming class at least 5 people try to get out of the class. The most common excuses being, I'm not feeling well, and, I forgot my togs. Togs equals swimwear in NZ. If students forget their togs, they were often prescribed to write lines as their punishment, which means on a notepad they write a sentence over and over again until the end of the class. Think Bart Simpson on the blackboard during the opening theme song. Back to my friend. He was at the back end of the year's swimming season, seeing endless excuses from his students, some legit but most BS. He had one of his final classes. On this particular day, one girl said that she wasn't swimming today, a situation he was all too familiar with by now, which went something like this. Girl: Sir, I'm not swimming today. Friend: Okay, start writing your lines. Girl: Okay, but friend, I don't want to hear your excuses. Go. Girl: What do I write? Friend: Whatever your excuse was going to be. The swimming class ends and the kids who didn't participate handed in their lines. After school, my friend inspects the lines to see if they wrote an adequate amount of lines over the hour until he got to the girl piece of paper, which was completely filled with one sentence over and over. I will never have my period again. I will never have my period again. He was absolutely mortified, as he is usually identified as one of the cool teachers and pretty good with the sensitivities around his students. There's no massive blow-up or huge consequences from this story, besides he was deeply apologetic the next day to the girl and learned his lesson to listen to his students' excuses from then on. Poor girl probably meant that, too. According to my wife, I have a period was the most common excuse for girls to skip gym class. I had a female teacher who wouldn't let me go to the bathroom to change my pad when I was 11. Second or third time having my period. So I ended up getting sent to the office to call my dad from work to bring me new pants 30 minutes later. By the time he could get from work to home then to school, it was a few minutes before the final bell. So I went home with him instead of getting on the overcrowded bus. When I was in junior high and high school, we spent one of the quarters on a swimming curriculum. Now, I went to the international school in Jakarta, and the student population was perhaps 3.5 American. Mostly the children of diplomats and oil well workers, and the rest from around the world. The first day of swimming, one of the guys in our class, a kid from either Texas or Oklahoma, proudly proclaimed that he had forgotten his swimsuit, i.e., his togs, and thought he would be excused. He smirked when he told the PE teacher, thinking he had deftly sidestepped the rules. The teacher said, "Oh, that's all right. We have some swimsuits in our lost and found. They have been washed, so you can wear one of those." Quote. He led the guy back to the locker room and gave him a very small and tight Speedo. Now, had he been from Europe, it probably would not have fazed him. But back in the 1970s, Speedos were just not worn by American teen boys. When he came out to the pool for the lesson, he was as beet red as the links in this subreddit. But None of the guys in my class ever forgot their swimsuits again. TBF. He should have had to write out, "I will listen to my students, I will listen to my students." Poor girl, she probably was really embarrassed. I had a similar experience with a young lady asking to go to the restroom. I denied her until she blurted out that her pants were going to get bloody from her period. Mortified, I let her go and never stopped another insistent young lady from going to the restroom again. While I'm aware that your summers are backwards due to hemisphere difference, I never figured that your summer breaks would be backwards too. I had to read that part 3 or 4 times before I put the pieces together. Are they trying to get rid of the weak via hypothermia or drowning? I see both sides here. He was probably frustrated and she had a valid excuse. I hope he was able to fix things. This isn't malicious compliance. It's malicious incompetence from the teacher. Because she still had to endure the shame and punishment and hand cramps.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.